Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's episode, I am going to be doing a review of Love Alarm. And before I start, I just need to be honest and say, doing this review has been such a struggle for me, and for the longest I could not figure out why it was so hard to get a review on this show done. It was like my body, my mind could not grasp it, and then I started to realize that although this show was very short, it's an 8-episode series, it was very impactful. It was very emotionally driven because it touched on two key things that we as human beings tend to struggle with a lot. One is being loved and understanding what love really is, because there's so many different ways, and I feel like there's so many different ways that people try to describe and understand what love is that we get confused sometimes. And communication. And although communication should be basic, it's actually super complex in how we all communicate, and in particular in how we as individuals communicate our love language. And so the entirety of this show is just a ball of emotions and confusion. It really just comes down to those two things, people not truly understanding what love really is and not knowing how to communicate that. So in this series revolves around this dating app, well, I would call it a dating app called Love Alarm, where basically if someone else with the app is within a 10-meter radius of you, has feelings for you, the app will notify you of that. Okay, so let's get into this show. I'm going to start with introducing, in my opinion, the main character, Chun Duk-go. He had a crush on Kim Jo-jo's cousin, and so he had created this app in hopes of being able to let her know without having to verbalize it that he liked her. And things didn't really go well for him when she did find out that this guy who was deemed a nerd or unattractive had feelings for her. But throughout the entire first season, nobody knows that Chun Duk-go is the creator of Love Alarm besides Kim Jo-jo, and I'll tell you why. So let's get into it. Our main actress is Kim So-hyun, portraying Kim Jo-jo, and Kim Jo-jo is the main actress in the show. She lost both of her parents when she was really young, and she was forced to live with her grandmother. And when her grandmother got too sick to take care of her, she put her into a care home and had to move in with her aunt and her cousin, to which she's kind of living like Cinderella, where her aunt forces her to work at the convenience store she owns below their apartment building, and she has to work a second side job to pay her own wages while living with her aunt and her cousin. Meanwhile, she is in a relationship with her boyfriend, Jang Il-shik, and you can tell right from the beginning of the season that she is not into him like that. And so when we are introduced to the first male lead, Hwang Sun-ho, he makes it known to Kim Jo-jo that he's really interested in her from the jump. Hwang Sun-ho is the son of a very famous actress and an assemblyman in Seoul. He's very popular and very beautiful. He had been studying abroad in the US while modeling for 17 magazine, and pretty much came back to Korea just in time for their senior year of high school. There he runs into Kim Jo-jo, and he starts to develop feelings for her because of her indifference towards him. So what Hwang Sun-ho doesn't know in the beginning is that Kim Jo-jo doesn't have the Love Alarm app. So whenever he's around her and his love alarm doesn't go off, it makes him intrigued into why this girl doesn't like him when all the other girls in the school are obsessed with him. So it kind of pokes at his little competitive side, you could say. And then we are introduced into our second male lead, Lee Hoo-young. Lee Hoo-young is a childhood friend of Hwang So-no and the son of the housemaid of Hwang So-no's family home. And Lee Hoo-young has a major crush on Kim Jo-jo. And the weird dynamic in the beginning of this, in the first season, is that when Hwang So-no first comes back to the US, he knows and he sees that Lee Hee-young has a crush on Kim Jo-jo, but it doesn't stop him from approaching her on his own. And when he starts to notice, when Hwang So-no starts to realize that, you know, he may be really interested in Kim Jo-jo, he continues to pester Lee Hoo-young and asking, like, do you like her? Do you like her? And Lee Hoo-young continuously denies having any feelings for Kim Jo-jo. And so there's a day when Kim Jo-jo is walking home from school, and Hwang So-no just happens to be walking in the same direction as her. He proceeds to pull her aside and he asks if he could kiss her. And for those who watch K-dramas, y'all know this is super problematic because rarely ever does physical contact happen between two main characters in the first episode of a show. So this, and after a little bit of convincing, it happens. And someone just happened to be around to see that kiss while Kim Jo-jo was still with Jung Il-shik. So the next day at school, Jung Il-shik finds out as the photo was sent to him of Kim Jo-jo making out with Hwang So-no, and a whole fight breaks out at the school. Kim Jo-jo ends up meeting Hwang So-no. Her heart doesn't really need to waver. She kind of just falls for him right away because she never really had any feelings for Jung Il-shik to begin with. Jung Il-shik chooses to forgive Kim Jo-jo, but after she shows him that neither one of their love alarms were ringing for each other, she convinces him that, you know, maybe they're not supposed to be together and they don't love each other as boyfriend and girlfriend, and maybe they just love each other as friends and they should separate. So yeah, so now that Hwang So-no and Kim Jo-jo are dating, we still have Lee Hoo-young, who is kind of sitting in the background, harboring all these feelings for now his best friend's girlfriend, even though he had feelings first. When Hwang So-no and Kim Jo-jo get into a car accident on their senior field trip, the entire school starts to blame Kim Jo-jo for the most popular kid at school being in trouble because she's poor and she has no parents, and because of all this, it's somehow her fault that he was injured, even though she was also hurt as well. She felt like because she loved him so much, she didn't want to end up losing him down the road. She felt that it was better for her to just get rid of him now. So thankfully for her, Chung Duk-go gave her a one-in-a-lifetime shield on her Love Alarm app. So basically with this shield on her Love Alarm app, anybody who was within her 10-meter radius would not be notified if she had feelings for them, but she would still be notified if they had feelings for her. So basically, Chung Duk-go gave her a shield for her heart. So in order for her to end her relationship with Hwang So-no, she activates this shield and goes to break up with him. And even though he doesn't believe her, he gives up and he says, you know what? Okay, you want to end it? Then we'll end it. Fast forward 4 years now, Hwang So-no has moved on to a new girl, and Lee Hee-young is still harboring all these feelings for Kim Jo-jo. While Kim Jo-jo is still hurt from her relationship with Hwang So-no, even though she is the one who ended the relationship, when Lee Hee-young starts to make advances toward Kim Jo-jo, she gives in to him. And this part of the show really, really bothered me because we all know that Hwang So-no is still in love with Kim Jo-jo, and she refuses to even give him a chance, which is so heartbreaking. I'm getting like frustrated talking about it because it's like nobody's communicating in this show. So, oh, okay. So frustrating. Kwon So-no and Lee Hoo-young's relationship really starts to falter at this point because Lee Hoo-young is at a point in his life where he feels like he made a mistake in not being able to communicate and confess to Kim Jo-jo earlier on when they were in high school. Because he said, and as he said, you know, everybody's relying on this app to communicate, you know, our feelings. He's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to speak to you and show you that I love you. And so he asked Kim Jo-jo to give him a chance. And I feel like that's pretty much what she wanted from the beginning, especially with Kwon So-no. And because I guess in her mind, because Kwon So-no was so dependent on that app for validation of their love, it was just more reason for her to break up with him. So yeah, you know, Kwon So-no is now in a relationship where his love alarm doesn't ring for the girl that he's with, but he is still somehow able to convince her that he does have true feelings for her. And that's the whole complicated thing about this application, you know, because our first example was with Kim Jo-jo and Jung Il-shik, where Jung Il-shik was in so much pain and hurt from their breakup that he questioned, you know, the realities of this app. Like, how can this app tell me that I don't love someone I know that I love? So that's the whole thing about this app. It doesn't really identify what type of love this person has for you. Love comes in so many different forms. Love comes in hate. Love comes in resentment. Love comes in so many different types of ways. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing about this show. And because of that, I think it made Kim Jo-jo question if her love for Kwon So-no was real love or just lust. So they gave into lust before love first, and that's something Kim Jo-jo notes right at the beginning of the show. So once we get to the end of season 1, and we are left on a cliffhanger when Kim Jo-jo, Lee Hee-young, and Kwon So-no run into each other at this event. And that's where we're left. And so, the show is pretty simple, but at the same time, it's pretty in-depth and like, it really makes you think. I guess some of my pet peeves. My pet peeves. So everybody communicates in different ways. And it's not just a language barrier. It's environment. It could be an environmental thing. It could be a generational thing. It could be a religious thing. So there's so many different things that can differentiate how we communicate with each other. You know, so sometimes I could be communicating one thing to my sister and she won't understand it in the way I'm trying to communicate it. So that's how communication is. It's very, very difficult, you know? And so, yeah, like that was my biggest pet peeve was honestly the whole app, the whole show was my pet peeve, simply because the app forced people to no longer communicate. And for me, like, that's all I can really depend on, you know, is communication. Communication is key. That's what we're taught, right? Communication is key. And if you can't do that, then how are you gonna get on in life, you know? Okay, as for the chemistry in the show, so of course, the main chemistry we have in the show is between Kim Jo-jo and Kwon So-no, and it is undeniable. It is so adorable. Their connection, their chemistry is so cute. It's so real that, like, them breaking up made me cry. It made me so upset that they broke up because Hwang Sun-no's love for Kim Jo-jo was so strong. And although like the show makes us question where his love stemmed from, at the end of the day, he loved that girl, you know? And the fact that 4 years has passed and he's still able to ring her love alarm, but we can physically see through the show that he's in love with her. Because if the sight of someone brings you that much pain, it has to be love, right? And so my question to you guys is, would you live in a world where Love Alarm existed? And if so, do you think it would be a benefit or a negative in your dating life? I really want to know that. I feel like for me, I would not want that app. I feel like it would be such a negative thing to have because it deters you from actually communicating. You know what I'm saying? Deterred Hwang Sun-no and even Kim Jo-jo from truly communicating why they were or were not in love with someone. You know what I'm saying? Like Kim Jo-jo really didn't explain to Hwang Sun-no why she fell out of love with him. She showed him that the app said they weren't in love, so he needed to somehow believe that. I felt like if the app didn't exist and she really had to figure out a way to convince him that she was no longer in love with him, they would probably still be together. And for, you know, Lee Hee-young, if the app didn't exist, he would have somehow found the courage to confess to her. He would have had no choice. He didn't need to depend on an app to give him the courage to do so. So yeah, with season 2 coming, I'm excited, but more so nervous because like I don't think my heart's gonna be able to take the emotional roller coaster I know they're about to put me through, which is gonna be so unfair because while I want Hwang Sun-no to get what he deserves, which is Kim Jo-jo back, I don't feel like she's worth it to him anymore. That may be an unpopular opinion, but I've come to the conclusion that Kim Jo-jo is at fault. I'm so sorry. I should be standing with women. I know it's 2021, but I am not a fan of miscommunications and lies and mistruths, and 2, playing with people's emotions and feelings. And I feel like although it may not have been intentional for her, I feel like she owed Hwang Sun-no so much more than she gave him, especially when she decided to pursue something with Lee Hee-young. Yeah, that is something that really bothers me throughout in the show, and I'm really frustrated to see how this plays out in season 2 because I'm gonna fight someone. I really feel like, you know, for how Hwang Sun-no and Kim Jo-jo's relationship was, he didn't deserve what she did to him, and he doesn't deserve what she's doing to him now by dating her best friend without even still giving him a proper explanation as to why they broke up. I feel like everybody, you know, some people say, you know, you don't need to explain yourself when you need to leave someone. She left him for no good reason. No good reason. You know, she tried to convince herself that it was for X, Y, and Z for no reason. She left the man and left him heartbroken, literally until 4 years later. And now she's dating his childhood friend. That's literally like dating someone, breaking up with them to go date their brother. Frustrations. Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys, that is my rant, recap, and review of Love Alarm. If you liked it, throw me a thumbs up. Leave me any questions or comments you want below, and be sure to subscribe. Again, season 2 premieres March 12th on Netflix. Be sure to watch it. If you haven't watched season 1, I would still say binge it. There's a lot more that I didn't get into because I feel like you really should watch the show. I tried to give you the cusp overview and recap so you could be somewhat prepared for season 2, but still, it's 8 episodes. They're each about an hour long. I would say binge it before the 12th and really enjoy it. It is a lot. It is an emotional roller coaster, so prepare. And let's get into season 2. So thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.